Hello everyone, today I want to do a little series. The year is coming to an end. Next gen is officially started with all three consoles now out. Now, last gen is not dead, it's going to keep going. I think the PS3 is going to fulfill the PS2 slot these days. A lot of people I know play a lot of their games on the PS3, so... But I'm sure 360, of course, do good too. But, I mean, a lot of people, as far as I know, I know a lot of people who went to PS3 to save money on Xbox Gold there. But that ain't the point. Anyway, point is, I thought it'd be interesting to make kind of a video for each console and kind of talking about some games that stand out, you know, from the beginning to the current moment. Now, I think the Wii, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think there's any much coming out for the Wii anymore, the original Wii, not the Wii U. Obviously, 360 and PS3 have lots of things still coming out, so keep that in mind in this time frame, and this ain't like some defining definite word, defy my law, and you bought. No. This is just some of the stuff I think. Now, how I'm thinking of doing this is I'm going to do exclusives for the PS3, then the 360, then the Wii, and then I'm going to do an episode for multi-platform. And then I think I might have one more idea of something to do. But anyway, so here are 7 PS3 exclusives. Or technically maybe even a little more, varying on your view of one. So what to start with? Who's going to be shocked about this one? Demon Souls! Shocking, right? I would never saw that on a list of defining games that had memorable things or anything on this list. Never saw it coming, right? What is it to say about Demon Souls? It continues the death-defining doom of King's Field in a whole new playing field with new online mechanics that have inspired several ideas in other games. Hell, even Sony said that some ideas with the PS4 are inspired from it, but as far as I know, none of that's really new, so definitely still a classic. I mean, it came out in, what, 2009, if I remember correctly. Servers are still online, still kicking, still going, and this game is still beloved. Kick that, EA Games. Your damn servers that usually stay up for like a year. Now this, Sega. I'm not a huge Sega person these days. Sega still does some things, but as an overall picture, I think it, especially with its own franchises, the Shining series just doesn't shine out to me anymore. Of course, it hurts it more when they don't even give us most of the games. One of the DS ones actually looked like it was pretty good because it followed more of the Shining 4 series. But we didn't get it, so I can't really comment on it. What a shame. But one of the really awesome things Sega did in the coming years was Valkyrie Chronicles. And sadly, we did not get the third one, but we did get the second one. But Valkyrie Chronicles 1 was exclusive to PS3, and it was just... Who the fuck didn't even do this yet? This was awesome. It was a weird turn-based / real-time RPG, military, third-person gun game, vehicle combat, it was such a weird mishmash of things, and it all worked so ingeniously. And positioning your gunners and machine gunners and stuff properly, taking advantage of the real-time aspects while enemies move around and shit. It was so much fun. And it was so sad this game met low sales when it first came out. It started picking up once a lot of people started talking about, but still, of course, didn't meet that big AAA money all the publishers want, Call of Duty cash. But it's definitely worth checking out if you have not checked out either it or 2. People are still trying to get the third one to come out. If you're not aware, the second and third are on the PSP. Now, we go back to FromSoft. This was published by Atlas, but it was made by FromSoft. What other exclusive PS3 game? Can't be Dark Souls. That's on the 360 and the PC. So what could it be? 3D Dot Heroes. You ever want that cunning, simplified Zelda style with some fucking insanity dashed in? Then you need 3D Dot Hero. This game is incredibly reminiscent of the old Zelda games. It has a very bitted style. But what's really funny is, like, your sword, your powered sword, like, you can make it huge and, like, slash across half the fucking screen, murdering things. It's really interesting. And you can make your own custom pixelated 3D hero. So you can use default ones or make your own. You can make pretty. Some people made a lot of crazy characters in it. And it even has a reference to Demon Souls, if I remember quickly in it. That is very enjoyable. It's definitely reminiscent of old Zelda style. Now, how could I not mention, of course, Ni no Kuni? Now, this is exclusive, and I know somebody, if I don't say it, is going to say something about, but Atticus, what about the DS version? While the beginning of the two games are quite similar, the ending contexts are quite different. They both have completely different villains. So, as far as that, this is its own game. And the gameplay is completely different too, so that even if it was the same plot, the gameplay is completely different. So even then, I would still consider this exclusive. It has to bear some semblance, like graphic downgrade, understandable. Complete, like, you know, one's turn-based, one's real-time, or if like one was strategy and another was real-time, you know, like, there has to be similarity, like really close similarities. But anyway, what does it say? Niku is just fucking awesome. It is probably one of the best RPGs that have came out in quite recent years, and this version was a PS3 exclusive. But I do recommend checking out the DS version if you're willing to pump. Wow, that didn't sound right. Pump out the money for it. You get the cardboard, the box, and you'll get the game underneath. Mine's probably not in here. Yeah, you get some information, Japanese version of the book. I'm still incredibly happy when I went to Comic-Con. I got an English version, so I can actually use my English version now when I play the DS version now. So that will actually help me some. But anyway, either way, Ni no Kuni PS3, check it out. Now we're going to go with some older titles here. So here is my first PS3 title. I originally bought PS3 because Metal Gear Solid 4 was going to come out soon, and the 40 gigabyte PS3 was made. It took out some of the additional ports and the PS2 backward playability to make it cheaper. And Metal Gear Solid 4 was coming out soon. So I bit the bullet and bought it. But, of course, you gotta have something to play it with. Why would you buy a giant expensive console and not fucking buy something then and there to try it out with? So I went with, because there wasn't a shitload of stuff, but I went with Folklore. Folklore, I knew nothing of the company that made Folklore. I knew nothing of Folklore. And, I mean, just looking at it, it's like, it has a really interesting art style. And, you know, looking in the back, and like, looks very nice. And even now, as old as Folklore is to the PS3, I mean, fuck, it still has the old bind on the side. Yeah. Does anyone remember that? I mean, does anyone even ever notice that? You know, the new one has that, and the old one just has this red square. Folklore is also still one of the few titles, I would say, that ever made use of the six axis. inside the PS3 controller. This is a game worth checking out. The creators of this also made, what was down here? If I can just pop that here. Margin in the Forsaken Kingdom. If that makes you think any good. This is really good. I definitely recommend checking it out. It is a very bizarre game. Very bizarre. You basically, like, fight different mythological creatures, and when you weaken them, you can snatch them, and you use the 6-axis that basically steal the souls. And you can use them as weapons. So, it's kind of a weird, dark Pokemon kind of thing going on with it. Alright, next. This, America did not, quickly explain, America did not get a physical version of this. And it was not called what it's called here. It was Blood Course, I believe. Siren Blood Course. But everywhere else it was called Siren New Translation. Translation. Yeah, new translation. But we'll just go with Blood Course since that's what it was called in America. Now, if I remember correctly, this is the Asian version that I got here. And the game has English dialogue, and it even comes with a shitty English instruction thing on the side, which is quite funny when the book is actually pretty hefty. But it basically plays exactly like Blood Course, so there's no language barrier issue, even though if you looked at the back you'd be like, ugh, I'm not sure if I can play it. Silent Blood Course, or New Translation, was the bizarre idea of taking Siren 1, which was on the PS2, and it's like, okay, at the time, basically a lot of Western companies were taking all these Japanese horror stories and making big Western movies with them. And it was kind of like, I wonder what would a Western company do? They did the Siren. So this was like, there you go. It's like the creators themselves tried to emulate what Western people would do. So it's a little mix of Siren 1 with a lot of the characters cut out. And it has some of the mechanics of Siren 2, which again was also PS2. They were all PlayStation exclusives. It's also important to note that all games, the creator of Siren is one of the original developers of Silent Hill 1. So if you really like Silent Hill, I would definitely check out the Siren series. But be warned, Siren 1 is fucking hard. Siren 2 made it easier on Blood Course, New Translation. It's pretty easy unless you ramp up the difficulty. It's pretty forgiving compared to Siren 1. Let me tell you, I can't even believe I beat Siren 1. Like, its stealthiness is way beyond Metal Gear, and I even suck at Metal Gear stealthiness. Like, I can't believe I even beat that game. I really can't. It's fun, but it's definitely something I would never replay because it was just so really freaking difficult. Siren, I definitely think is a very interesting game. All the games in the series feature basically a course that the characters get involved, and they can, like, mind jack into enemies' sight. They can't do anything to them, but they can see what they can see, and they're crosshairs of your character. So, like, if you see a crosshair, then you know you're in that direction, so it gives you an idea how the enemies move about and that. It's like, that's how you know when to go through doors and stuff and that, and keep track of where the enemies are and stuff. Blood Course is a much shorter game than its previous two games, but it certainly was an interesting experiment in the upgraded equipment. Again, it was an early PS3 title. Sadly, now, I don't know anything about, Gravity Rush, I believe. It's on the Vita. That's what they've been making. I haven't played that, so I don't know. I doubt that's bad or anything. I'm sure it's fun, but I kind of was hoping they were going to do a new Cywene at some point, but it really seems like they're just kind of banning that, which is a bit sad, to be honest, but I think it's definitely something worth checking out. The only thing I think it did bad, really, is it tried to do that whole episodic thing that was really popular at the time. It's like, last time, next time. It's like, who the fucking cares? The only thing I think that ever worked for was Alan Wake. And that was because it was a very narrative thing, because you were playing as a fucking guy who wrote books. It kind of made sense then. But, like, everything else, like Alone in the Dark and that, it's like, really, why? It doesn't add anything. Now, this is technically 3 games, so instead of 7, it could be 8 and 9. Or it could just be cheap cop-out. But hey, the main focus here is Journey. But Flower and Flow are both excellent games too, but I think Journey stands out way on top of them. But definitely a worthwhile, all exclusives to the PS3. Though I think I recall hearing something about Flower maybe appearing on the PS4. Maybe somebody can correct me on that. I might have to just be like, well, we'll just throw Flower off and just be 8 then. But Journey, I really liked the Journey. We played it a few times. Aaron liked it so much he did literally everything in the freaking game. Which isn't like insanely hard. But it's really... Don't spoil yourself and watch a Let's Play. Like, you can maybe watch the really early part, but it's really something you just gotta experience, just blindly into it. I really like Journey. I think Journey was an excellent way, like, it's an excellent example of how a game can have no language. Like, I mean, Ico, even though, like, half the shit being said in Ico, you don't even know what the hell anything's being said until like the second time you replay it. I mean, there's no fucking language at all, really. It's just, you know, it's just pure interpretation. You know, it's not like, here, take your spoonfuls of fucking story and shove it down your throat. Not that I'm saying it's bad to give information, you know, and you just, you know, it's nice to have different options, you know, that. So, not saying these are derivative, not saying these are the absolute best, but these are some games I think stood forth for the PS3. Now, of course, keep in mind that, you know, I only can buy so much and play so much. I mean, and I think this is going to matter more when it comes to the multi-platform. I mean, there's some multi-platform games I haven't really gotten to try. I mean, what is it? Metro Light? It was published by Deep Silver. It's like a pop-delictic first-person shooter. I've been very interested in that. I haven't really gotten around to buying it with Comic-Con, Broke Turbo, as Angry Joe likes putting it. Broke Turbo. And all kinds of stuff going on, and, you know, winter and bills, and I paid off my car and got that all out of the way early and that. So, yeah, sometimes, you know, but it was sounding really good. Usually when it's a really big AAA title and it has tons of fanacking people about it, I don't worry about getting it on day one as fast as, like, a lot of RPGs and stuff, especially with like limited editions and stuff. There's actually some Vita limited editions I've been considering, but now I'm just going way off topic here now, ain't I? Now, there are also titles like Heavy Rain, which was also a PS3 exclusive. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say Heavy Rain was bad or stupid or anything. It certainly has its oddities. The fatherliness can be questionable at certain parts. But then again, the fuck will cut off his finger, so I can't really bitch about that now, can I? I don't think Heavy Rain was bad, but it doesn't, like, sit in my head. And I haven't played The Last of Us. And I'm sure that's probably something a lot of people would be like, where's The Last of Us? And again, you know, big AAA game that has bazillions of points of it and that. It's not selling out anytime soon. And haven't gotten around to getting it. I've heard lots of things good about The Last of Us. It's supposed to be a very good narrative, so I think the odds are that The Last of Us might have a chance of making this if I actually had played it. But, you know, I don't like to be like, oh, piss and shit all over this crap even though I never touched it or praise it to high heaven because I've never touched this crap. You know, I like actually playing it once before I give an actual somewhat subjective opinion of it at all at that point, you know. Anywho, if you have any questions about any of the games or that, please leave a comment. And I would love to hear what games do you think stood out on the PS3. Remember, these have to be exclusives. No multi-platform in this topic, but we'll have a video on that topic in the future. So let me know what you thought was really interesting that was exclusive to the PS3. I'll be listening, and maybe you could throw some recommendations that I might not know of. So anyway, I'll see you all next time, and we'll have to find some other subject matter. Catherine? Huh? Wait, why did you go multi-platform? If you were exclusive, you would have made this list, like, easy. Way, right there. Just wouldn't have been any problem at all. I mean, really. Really? Why? Why, Atlas? Why? Okay, no. I'm not biased against multi-platform. I'm just shitting around. Yeah, it's totally making the multi-platform, though. Spoiler alert.